Good morning, everyone. Life is full of relationships, and while some bring us joy, others can cause us pain. At some point, we all face situations where someone hurts us, whether through words, actions, or even betrayal. The question is, how do we handle these situations? Do we hold on to resentment, or do we find a healthier way forward? Life is full of relationships, family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers we meet along the way. Each of these relationships holds the potential to bring joy, love, and support. However, they can also bring disappointment, betrayal, and pain. No matter how kind, careful, or understanding we are, at some point in life, we will experience hurt caused by another person. It is an unavoidable part of human interaction. One of the most difficult truths to accept is that the people closest to us are often the ones who hurt us the most. This could be due to high expectations, deep emotional investment, or simply the vulnerability that comes with close relationships. A friend's betrayal, a family member's harsh words, or a partner's broken promise can leave deep emotional wounds. The closer the bond, the more painful the hurt. Even outside of personal relationships, hurt is inevitable. In the workplace, colleagues may betray our trust. In social settings, misunderstandings can arise. Sometimes even strangers can say or do things that deeply affect us. No matter where we go, we cannot control how others behave, and that means we will, at times, be at the receiving end of hurtful actions. Understanding that hurt is a universal experience can be reassuring. It reminds us that we are not alone in our pain. Everyone, at some point, faces betrayal, disappointment, or rejection. Knowing this can help us feel less isolated and more prepared to deal with emotional pain when it comes. Painful experiences, though difficult, are part of personal growth. They teach us valuable lessons about trust, boundaries, and resilience. Every time we are hurt, we have an opportunity to learn more about ourselves and how we handle adversity. These experiences shape us, making us stronger and wiser if we choose to learn from them. It is also important to recognize that sometimes hurt is unintentional. People make mistakes, speak without thinking, or act out of their own pain. Just as we may have unintentionally hurt someone before, others may do the same to us. Understanding this can help us approach the situation with a more balanced perspective rather than reacting with immediate anger or resentment. Despite the pain that relationships can bring, they are still worth having. Fear of getting hurt should not prevent us from forming meaningful connections. Instead of avoiding relationships, we should focus on learning how to manage hurt in a healthy way. This means developing emotional resilience, setting boundaries, and knowing when to forgive and when to walk away. Ultimately, being hurt is not a sign of weakness but a part of life's journey. It is a reflection of the risks we take in opening our hearts to others. How we choose to handle this hurt determines our emotional well-being. By accepting that pain is inevitable, we can shift our focus from avoiding hurt to learning how to heal. Emotions are a natural and essential part of the human experience. When we get hurt, we often experience a mix of emotions: anger, sadness, disappointment, or even confusion. These emotions arise for a reason. They signal that something significant has happened. However, many people try to suppress or ignore their feelings, believing that doing so will make the pain go away faster. In reality, suppressing emotions only buries them temporarily, and they often resurface in unhealthy ways. When we suppress our emotions, we deny ourselves the opportunity to process and heal. Unexpressed emotions don't simply disappear, they build up over time. This emotional buildup can lead to stress, anxiety, or even physical symptoms like headaches and fatigue. Ignoring pain may seem like a way to avoid discomfort, but in the long run, it can cause even greater emotional distress. Acknowledging emotions, on the other hand, allows us to confront our pain honestly. It means giving ourselves permission to feel whatever we are experiencing without judgment. If we are angry, we should recognize that anger. If we are hurt, we should accept that hurt. This doesn't mean dwelling on negative feelings indefinitely, but rather understanding that feeling pain is a natural response to being wronged. One of the most effective ways to acknowledge emotions is to express them in a healthy manner. Talking to a trusted friend, writing in a journal, or even meditating on our feelings can help us process them. Verbalizing emotions allows us to make sense of them rather than allowing them to remain bottled up inside. Sometimes simply naming what we feel, such as "I am hurt" or "I feel betrayed," can be a powerful step toward healing. Many people suppress emotions because they fear being perceived as weak. Society often encourages us to stay strong or move on quickly, which can make us feel guilty for experiencing pain. However, true strength lies in facing our emotions, not ignoring them. Allowing ourselves to feel does not make us weak, it makes us human. The more we embrace our emotions, the more we can understand ourselves and grow from the experience. Another important aspect of acknowledging emotions is recognizing their root cause. Sometimes our emotional reactions may be tied to deeper past experiences. A present hurt may trigger unresolved wounds from childhood or past relationships. Taking time to reflect on why we feel a certain way can provide clarity and help us avoid repeating negative emotional patterns. It is also important to remember that emotions are temporary. Feelings of anger or sadness may feel overwhelming in the moment, but they do not define us. Acknowledging emotions does not mean we let them control our actions. Instead, it allows us to process them in a way that promotes healing. Over time, emotions naturally change and evolve, especially when we give them the attention they need. By acknowledging emotions instead of suppressing them, we create a foundation for emotional well-being. We give ourselves the space to heal, grow, and move forward in a healthier way. Emotions are not our enemies, they are our guides. When we listen to them, we gain insight into our needs, boundaries, and personal growth. Boundaries are essential for maintaining mental and emotional well-being. They define the limits of what we are comfortable with and help us protect ourselves from being mistreated or overwhelmed. Without clear boundaries, we may find ourselves in situations where others take advantage of us, manipulate us, or drain our energy. Setting boundaries is not about being distant or unkind. It is about self-respect and creating a healthy balance in our relationships. Many people struggle with setting boundaries because they fear conflict or rejection. They worry that saying no will make them seem selfish or rude. However, the reality is that healthy boundaries are a sign of self-awareness and strength. They allow us to communicate our needs clearly while maintaining respect for ourselves and others. People who truly care about us will understand and respect our limits, while those who resist our boundaries often benefit from our lack of them. One of the key reasons boundaries are important is that they prevent emotional exhaustion. When we constantly say yes to demands, even when we feel overwhelmed, we risk burnout. Whether it is at work, in friendships, or in family relationships, always putting others first can leave us drained. Boundaries help us manage our time, energy, and emotions so that we do not become overwhelmed by the expectations of others. Boundaries also protect us from toxic relationships. Some people may try to manipulate, guilt trip, or take advantage of our kindness. Without firm boundaries, we may allow harmful behavior to continue, thinking it is our responsibility to keep the peace. However, protecting our mental and emotional health means recognizing when someone's actions are damaging and having the courage to distance ourselves if necessary. An important part of setting boundaries is learning to communicate them effectively. This means expressing our needs clearly and assertively, without aggression or guilt. For example, instead of saying, I guess I can do it, when we don't want to, we can say, I hate you asking, but I won't be able to. Being direct but respectful ensures that others understand our limits without feeling attacked. Setting boundaries is not just about saying no to others, it is also about saying yes to ourselves. When we prioritize our well-being, we create space for the things that truly matter. This could mean carving out time for self-care, pursuing our goals, or simply taking a break when we need it. Boundaries allow us to focus on our own growth and happiness without feeling guilty. It is also important to remember that boundaries are not one size fits all. They vary depending on the situation and the people involved. The boundaries we set with a close friend may be different from those we set at work. Additionally, boundaries are not rigid. They can change as we grow and as our relationships evolve. The key is to regularly check in with ourselves and adjust our limits when necessary. By setting boundaries, we take control of our emotional and mental well-being. We teach others how we want to be treated and ensure that our relationships are based on mutual respect. Boundaries are not barriers to connection, they are the foundation for healthy, fulfilling relationships. When we honor our limits, we create a life where our peace, happiness, and self-respect come first. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. Many people believe that forgiving someone means excusing their actions or allowing them to hurt us again. However, true forgiveness is not about justifying someone's wrongdoing. It is about freeing ourselves from the emotional burden of resentment. Holding on to anger and bitterness can weigh us down, affecting our mental and emotional well-being. Forgiveness allows us to release that weight and find inner peace. One of the biggest misconceptions about forgiveness is that it requires forgetting what happened. In reality, forgetting can be dangerous because it may lead us to repeat unhealthy patterns or trust the wrong people again. Remembering the past does not mean dwelling on it, it means learning from it. When we forgive, we acknowledge what happened, but we also use that experience to grow stronger and wiser. Forgiveness also does not mean allowing someone to continue mistreating us. We can forgive a person while still holding them accountable for their actions. If someone repeatedly disrespects or hurts us, it is important to set boundaries and, if necessary, distance ourselves from that relationship. Forgiveness is about healing ourselves, not giving others permission to continue their harmful behavior. Many people struggle to forgive because they believe it means reconciling with the person who hurt them. While reconciliation can be a beautiful outcome in some cases, it is not always necessary or even healthy. Some relationships are toxic and should not be restored. We can forgive someone in our hearts without allowing them back into our lives. Forgiveness is a personal decision, not a requirement to maintain a relationship. Another important aspect of forgiveness is that it takes time. Some wounds are deep and healing does not happen overnight. We should not force ourselves to forgive before we are ready. Instead, we should allow ourselves to process the pain, understand our emotions, and work toward forgiveness at our own pace. True forgiveness is not just saying, I forgive you, it is a process of letting go emotionally. Forgiving others does not mean we are weak. In fact, it takes great strength to let go of anger and resentment. It is easy to hold a grudge, but it takes courage to move forward without allowing the pain to define us. Choosing forgiveness means choosing peace over bitterness, and that is a powerful act of self-love. At the same time, forgiveness does not erase the consequences of someone's actions. If a person has caused harm, they must still take responsibility for what they have done. Forgiveness is about releasing our own suffering, not shielding others from accountability. We can forgive while still expecting justice, change, or an apology. Ultimately, forgiveness is for our benefit, not the person who hurt us. It is about reclaiming our happiness and refusing to let someone else's actions control our emotions. When we understand that forgiveness does not mean forgetting or tolerating bad behavior, we can embrace it as a tool for our own healing and inner strength. When we experience pain or betrayal, it is easy to get stuck in negative emotions such as anger, sadness, or resentment. However, dwelling on the past does not change what happened, nor does it help us heal. One of the most effective ways to move forward is to focus on personal growth. Instead of allowing hurtful experiences to define us, we can use them as motivation to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Personal growth involves self-reflection and self-improvement. It requires us to examine what we have learned from our experiences and how we can use that knowledge to create a better future. When we shift our focus from the pain itself to how we can grow from it, we regain control over our lives. We stop seeing ourselves as victims of circumstances and start seeing ourselves as individuals capable of change and progress. One way to embrace personal growth is by setting new goals. Painful experiences can serve as wake-up calls, pushing us to reassess our priorities and make positive changes. Whether it is improving our physical health, pursuing a new career path, or learning a new skill, focusing on personal development helps redirect our energy towards something meaningful. Progress, no matter how small, helps us move forward with confidence. Personal growth also involves strengthening our emotional intelligence. This means becoming more aware of our feelings, understanding how they affect our decisions, and learning healthier ways to manage emotions. When we develop emotional intelligence, we become less reactive to negativity and more intentional about how we handle challenges. Instead of allowing hurtful situations to control our emotions, we learn to respond with wisdom and self-awareness. Another important aspect of personal growth is developing self-love and self-respect. Sometimes painful experiences reveal areas where we need to value ourselves more. Perhaps we tolerated toxic relationships for too long or allowed others to mistreat us because we lacked self-confidence. By working on our self-esteem, setting boundaries, and prioritizing our well-being, we grow into stronger individuals who refuse to settle for less than we deserve. Growth also comes from surrounding ourselves with the right people. Healing and progress are easier when we have a supportive network of positive and inspiring individuals. Seeking out mentors, friends, or communities that encourage self-improvement can help us stay motivated. Being in the presence of people who uplift and challenge us allows us to grow in ways we may not have imagined. Personal growth is a continuous journey, not a one-time event. There will always be setbacks and challenges, but with the right mindset, every experience, good or bad, becomes an opportunity for learning and improvement. The more we invest in our growth, the less power the past has over us. Instead of being held back by pain, we transform it into a stepping stone toward a better version of ourselves. At its core, personal growth is about reclaiming our power. It is about choosing to move forward rather than staying stuck in past hurts. When we focus on improving ourselves mentally, emotionally, and even physically, we shift our attention from what we lost to what we can gain. This shift in perspective is what ultimately allows us to heal, thrive, and build a future that is not defined by past pain, but by our own strength and growth. Healing from emotional pain is not something we have to do alone. The people we surround ourselves with play a crucial role in our ability to recover, grow, and move forward. Positive people provide support, encouragement, and a sense of belonging, which can make the healing process easier and more effective. When we are going through difficult times, having the right people by our side can help us regain strength and see hope beyond the pain. Positive relationships act as a source of emotional support. When we are hurt, it is natural to feel isolated or misunderstood. However, being around people who genuinely care about us reminds us that we are not alone. A supportive friend, a loving family member, or even a mentor can provide comfort by listening to our struggles, offering advice, or simply being present when we need them the most. Knowing that someone is there for us makes a significant difference in our healing journey. In addition to offering support, positive people also encourage us to maintain a healthy perspective. When we are hurt, it is easy to focus on the negativity of the situation and get stuck in resentment or sadness. However, positive influences help us see the bigger picture. They remind us of our worth, our strengths, and the lessons we can learn from our experiences. Their optimism can shift our mindset from dwelling on pain to looking forward to growth and new possibilities. Spending time with uplifting individuals can also help us build self-confidence. When we are surrounded by negativity, whether from toxic relationships, criticism, or unsupportive people, it can damage our self-esteem and make us question our value. On the other hand, being with people who appreciate and uplift us helps rebuild our confidence. They remind us of our strengths and encourage us to believe in ourselves, which is essential for healing and moving forward. Positive people also inspire us to make better choices for our well-being. They encourage healthy habits, whether it's through engaging in meaningful conversations, participating in activities that bring joy, or promoting self-care. When we are around individuals who value growth and happiness, we are more likely to adopt those same attitudes and behaviors in our own lives. Their influence pushes us toward becoming better, stronger individuals. Another reason positive people are important in the healing process is that they help us set and maintain boundaries. When we are recovering from hurt, it is crucial to distance ourselves from toxic influences that may worsen our emotional state. Positive individuals help us recognize when a relationship or situation is unhealthy, and they support us in making choices that prioritize our well-being. Their presence serves as a reminder that we deserve to be treated with kindness and respect. Healing is not just about overcoming pain, it is also about rediscovering joy. Positive relationships bring laughter, happiness, and light into our lives, even in the midst of challenges. Whether it's sharing a good conversation, creating fun memories, or simply feeling understood, these moments of positivity contribute to emotional healing. The more we engage in uplifting interactions, the easier it becomes to let go of past pain and focus on the present and future. Ultimately, the people we surround ourselves with shape our healing journey. Choosing to be around those who bring positivity, encouragement, and love helps us recover faster and move forward with a renewed sense of hope. They remind us of our inner strength and help us see that even after pain, there is still happiness, growth, and endless possibilities ahead. When someone hurts us, it is natural to feel anger, resentment, and even bitterness. These emotions serve as an immediate response to pain, signaling that we have been wronged. However, while it is normal to feel this way initially, holding on to bitterness for an extended period can be damaging. Instead of punishing the person who hurt us, it ends up harming us more by affecting our mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. Bitterness acts like a poison that slowly spreads within us. The more we dwell on past hurts, the more it consumes our thoughts and emotions. It can make us replay painful memories over and over, preventing us from truly moving forward. When we are bitter, we carry negativity wherever we go, which can affect our relationships, work, and overall happiness. Instead of focusing on growth and healing, we remain stuck in a cycle of pain. One of the biggest dangers of bitterness is that it changes how we see the world and the people around us. When we hold on to resentment, we may start viewing others with suspicion or distrust, even those who have never wronged us. This can lead to isolation, as bitterness makes it difficult to build healthy, meaningful connections. The walls we put up to protect ourselves from getting hurt again may also prevent us from experiencing love, kindness, and joy. Bitterness does not just affect our emotions, it can also impact our physical health. Studies have shown that chronic stress and negative emotions can lead to high blood pressure, weakened immune function, and increased risk of heart disease. When we constantly hold on to anger and resentment, our bodies remain in a state of tension, which can lead to exhaustion, headaches, and other health issues. Letting go of bitterness is not just about emotional well-being, it is also about protecting our physical health. Another harmful effect of bitterness is that it gives power to the person who hurt us. When we continue to dwell on what they did, we allow them to occupy space in our minds and hearts. This means they still have control over our emotions, even long after the event has passed. True freedom comes from releasing that hold and choosing to focus on our own happiness rather than the actions of others. Letting go of bitterness does not mean forgetting what happened or excusing the person's behavior. It simply means refusing to let past pain dictate our present and future. We can acknowledge the hurt, learn from it, and move on without allowing it to define us. Choosing to forgive or release resentment is not about the other person. It is about reclaiming our peace and emotional freedom. One of the best ways to overcome bitterness is to shift our focus toward gratitude and personal growth. Instead of replaying painful memories, we can choose to focus on what we have learned and how we have grown from the experience. Practicing gratitude helps us recognize the good things in our lives, reminding us that our pain does not define us. The more we focus on positivity, the less room there is for bitterness to take hold. In the end, holding on to bitterness only prolongs our suffering. While we may feel justified in our resentment, it ultimately does nothing to change the past or heal our wounds. True healing comes from letting go, not for the benefit of the one who hurt us, but for ourselves. When we release bitterness, we make space for peace, happiness, and a future free from the weight of past pain. When someone wrongs us, the desire for revenge can feel overwhelming. It is a natural response to pain and betrayal, as we often believe that making the other person suffer will give us closure. However, revenge rarely brings the satisfaction we expect. Instead of healing our wounds, it keeps us trapped in negativity and resentment. Choosing peace over revenge is not about letting the other person off the hook, it is about freeing ourselves from the emotional burden that comes with seeking retaliation. Revenge creates a cycle of negativity that never truly ends. When we act out of anger, we often escalate the situation, leading to more conflict and prolonged suffering. Instead of resolving the pain, revenge keeps it alive, making it difficult to move forward. Choosing peace, on the other hand, allows us to break free from this cycle. It helps us focus on our own growth, rather than being consumed by thoughts of how to get even. One of the biggest benefits of choosing peace is the emotional freedom it provides. When we let go of the need for revenge, we release ourselves from the grip of anger and bitterness. Carrying resentment weighs us down, affecting our mood, relationships, and overall well-being. By deciding not to seek revenge, we regain control over our emotions and allow ourselves to experience peace and happiness again. Holding on to anger can be exhausting, both mentally and physically. Studies show that prolonged stress and negative emotions can lead to health problems such as high blood pressure, anxiety, and even heart disease. When we choose peace, we reduce stress and create space for healing. Instead of using energy to fuel anger, we can redirect it toward activities and relationships that bring us joy and fulfillment. Choosing peace does not mean we allow others to mistreat us. It simply means that we refuse to let their actions define our emotional state. Setting boundaries and distancing ourselves from toxic individuals is still necessary, but we do not need to seek revenge to prove our strength. True strength lies in our ability to walk away from negativity and focus on our own well-being. Another reason peace is more powerful than revenge is that it allows us to learn and grow from our experiences. When we let go of the need to retaliate, we gain perspective on the situation. We can reflect on what happened, understand the lessons it taught us, and use that knowledge to make wiser decisions in the future. Growth comes from moving forward, not from being stuck in the past. Revenge keeps us tied to the person who hurt us, while peace allows us to move on. When we seek revenge, we are still emotionally connected to the person we resent, giving them power over our thoughts and actions. Choosing peace severs that connection, allowing us to focus on ourselves instead of being controlled by past pain. It gives us the freedom to build a life that is not defined by anger or retaliation. Ultimately, choosing peace over revenge is an act of self-love. It is a decision to prioritize our happiness, emotional well-being, and future over a fleeting moment of satisfaction. When we let go of the need for revenge, we create space for joy, healing, and personal growth. True freedom comes not from making others suffer, but from allowing ourselves to heal and move forward with peace in our hearts. One of the most powerful realizations in life is that our happiness should not depend on the actions of others, especially those who have hurt us. When we allow someone else's words or behavior to dictate our emotions, we give them control over our well-being. True happiness comes from within, and when we learn to separate our inner peace from external circumstances, we regain power over our own lives. When someone hurts us, it is natural to feel pain, anger, or sadness. However, the problem arises when we hold on to those emotions for too long and allow them to shape our mood, decisions, and self-worth. If we let bitterness or resentment take root, we remain emotionally tied to the person who wronged us. Instead of moving forward, we continue to relieve the hurt, giving them power over our happiness even long after the event has passed. Letting go of this control does not mean ignoring our emotions or pretending we are unaffected. It means acknowledging our pain, processing our feelings, and then deciding not to let those experiences define our future. Healing takes time, but the sooner we shift our focus from the person who hurt us to our own growth, the sooner we reclaim our happiness. We have the choice to either dwell on the pain or to rise above it and create a fulfilling life despite it. One of the ways to prevent others from controlling our happiness is by practicing emotional resilience. This means developing the ability to manage our emotions in a healthy way rather than reacting based on what others say or do. When we build resilience, we become less affected by negativity, and we learn to maintain our inner peace even in difficult situations. Resilient people do not let setbacks define them. Instead, they use challenges as opportunities to grow stronger. Another crucial step is self-validation. Often we allow those who hurt us to impact our happiness because we seek validation from them. We may feel the need for an apology, recognition, or closure in order to move on. But true happiness does not come from external validation, it comes from within. When we learn to appreciate and love ourselves regardless of how others treat us, we no longer rely on them for our sense of worth or joy. Taking control of our happiness also involves shifting our focus from pain to positivity. Instead of replaying past hurts in our minds, we can choose to focus on things that bring us joy, our passions, hobbies, loved ones, and personal goals. Engaging in activities that make us feel fulfilled helps remind us that life is much bigger than the hurt someone else has caused. The more we invest in our own happiness, the less influence negativity has over us. Setting boundaries is another important part of maintaining our happiness. If someone continuously brings negativity into our lives, we have the right to distance ourselves or remove them from our space entirely. Boundaries are not about punishment, they are about self-care. We should surround ourselves with people who uplift and support us rather than those who drain our energy or bring us down. Protecting our mental and emotional well-being is a vital part of staying in control of our happiness. Ultimately, happiness is a personal choice. While we cannot control how others treat us, we can control how we respond. By refusing to let those who hurt us define our emotional state, we take back our power. We choose peace over resentment, joy over bitterness, and growth over stagnation. When we understand that our happiness is in our hands, we become truly free to live a life filled with positivity and fulfillment. Negativity is an inevitable part of life. Whether it comes from toxic people, difficult situations, or our own doubts and fears, we all encounter negativity at some point. However, the way we respond to it determines our growth and resilience. Choosing to rise above negativity instead of being consumed by it is what makes us stronger and wiser. It transforms challenges into opportunities for self-improvement and personal empowerment. One of the biggest lessons that come from overcoming negativity is emotional strength. When we refuse to let negativity control us, we develop resilience, the ability to face adversity without breaking down. This does not mean we ignore our emotions or pretend everything is fine. Instead, it means we acknowledge the negativity, learn from it, and move forward without letting it define us. Every time we rise above a difficult situation, we become more emotionally stable and capable of handling future challenges with greater ease. Negativity can also serve as a powerful teacher. When we experience criticism, betrayal, or failure, we have the opportunity to reflect and learn. Instead of letting negativity bring us down, we can ask ourselves, what can I take from this experience? Perhaps it teaches us to set better boundaries, to be more cautious about whom we trust, or to develop a stronger mindset. Wisdom is not gained from easy experiences, but from the challenges we overcome. Another benefit of rising above negativity is the ability to maintain inner peace. When we allow negative people or circumstances to control our emotions, we give away our personal power. However, when we learn to detach ourselves from toxic energy and focus on what truly matters, we cultivate peace within ourselves. This peace is not dependent on external circumstances, but comes from a deep understanding that we are in control of our own thoughts and reactions. Overcoming negativity also helps us develop greater self-awareness. When faced with negativity, we are forced to evaluate our own beliefs, values, and responses. Do we react with anger and frustration, or do we choose patience and understanding? Do we let negativity consume us, or do we use it as motivation to grow? Through these reflections, we gain a better understanding of ourselves and develop the wisdom needed to navigate life with confidence and clarity. Additionally, choosing to rise above negativity sets a powerful example for others. Whether it is in our personal relationships, at work, or within our communities, people observe how we handle difficult situations. When we respond to negativity with grace and strength, we inspire those around us to do the same. Our ability to remain calm and focused in the face of adversity can encourage others to adopt a more positive and empowered mindset. One of the greatest rewards of rising above negativity is that it frees us from unnecessary burdens. Carrying anger, resentment, or frustration only weighs us down. By choosing to let go of negativity, we make space for happiness, growth, and new opportunities. Instead of being stuck in the past or fixating on things beyond our control, we move forward with confidence and a renewed sense of purpose. Ultimately, every challenge we face contributes to our strength and wisdom. Rising above negativity is not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It is about choosing to respond in a way that empowers us rather than weakens us. When we master this mindset, we develop unshakable resilience. allowing us to navigate life's ups and downs with courage, intelligence, and grace. So the next time someone hurts you, remember these 5 steps: acknowledge your feelings, set boundaries, forgive wisely, focus on self-improvement, and surround yourself with positivity. You deserve peace. Don't let anyone take that away from you. Thank you.